saw where you said you're going to stay off Twitter for a little while.
Yeah.
Can Twitter, though, also be a good way to set some things straight if you see something that's really inaccurate?
Try to set as much stuff straight as much as possible, but there's just so many misconceptions and so much stuff out there that you can't settle every debate. So for me, I mean, Twitter is good. You can get a lot of information out. You guys know that, but it can be bad as well with everything you do on there taken into a different context than what it may be. So it's kind of just a double-edged sword.
And then also the Ohio State deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even – that was just a deal where – I mean, I was shocked. I just got on Twitter. I hadn't been getting on much, and I got on to see all these Ohio State fans getting mad at me. I'm like, what are they talking about, Aaron Kraft? I love Aaron Kraft. Like, I think he's a guy that's probably the best defensive on-ball defense in the country. What are these people talking about? And then I saw a link to some webpage and stuff like that. So, I mean, people are always just trying to make a story out of something, whether it's good or bad. So it's tough.
What did they think you'd said? I'm not familiar.
I guess they thought I guess my Twitter handle got photoshopped into a website with a tweet that said something like Aaron Kraft from Ohio State is just a terrible basketball player. Yeah, he made a great shot at the end of the game, but where was he the first 15 minutes of the game or something like that? And it had like a picture of like a ton of retweets and a ton of favorites, like it had really been passed around. I was just so confused by it. I just didn't understand.
You didn't tweet it.
No, not at all. Somebody else photoshopped my name into another tweet, and then it got sent out to message boards or whatever, and then it just blew up.
Was that the last straw?
That was the last straw. That was it. When I got on that and was just confused by that, I was already flustered enough with it, and then when that happened, I was like, all right, there's no good coming from it. I don't want to delete my Twitter. I've met a lot of cool people on Twitter. I get to talk to a lot of cool people. It's a good way to communicate with people, but at the same time, it's not worth having to just get on and just check stuff and hear all this ridicule.
When do you think you'll be back on?
A while. Yeah. Just whenever I feel like it.
Didn't delete it.
Didn't delete it. Just signed out of it. Deleted it off my phone. Don't get it on my computer anymore. Just stay away from it.
What? I don't know how you are, but I think if I wasn't checking Twitter, I don't know what I'd be doing.
Me either. I mean, I was thinking like, dang, what am I going to do when I'm at the airport? So when I'm going places, I'll be bored. But then I was just like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out.
From watching spring drills, it seems like y'all are making such an effort for you to stay in the pocket and work on your passing. Would you mind just talking about that a little bit?
I mean, the scrimmage, I think people could see the other day, we had 3 interceptions. I wasn't happy about that. But at the same time, I feel like a couple of those were plays where during the game, during the season, where you take off and run for a first down or do some different things with my legs. So it's good in that regard. We did some good things in the pocket. I think some balls that were thrown to Mike, some throws in the pocket. We were really good protection. Didn't have really any mishaps with the offensive line. So for me, staying in and being able to become more comfortable there, and then letting the natural kind of the way I play football take over when it's time to play in August, I think it'll be good.
When do you plan to go see Coach Whitfield again?
He just texted me. I was just talking to him right now. He's going to come in, I think he'll be here next week. Okay. So we'll get to meet up then. But I'm going to go in, I think it's May. Okay. I think it's sometime in May whenever we're done.
I wanted to ask you about Nate Fitch. It's special to have somebody who's been there with you from the beginning, and it's also probably comforting to have someone like that as well. Would you just talk about your relationship and how nice it is to have a guy like Nate around?
It's awesome to have Nate around. I mean, he helps me out with a lot of stuff that I have going on in my life. Anything that I need, all these people that come at me asking for autographs or people who want something for a family member, and I'm up here and have practice. I'm like, hey, Nate, these people are dropping this off at the house saying, well, you can get it, and we'll get it signed and get it back to him. Like, is there anything that you can help me with? Just day-to-day stuff, just with him being with me since high school to what it is now, and see how it's really changed. It's been cool.
Do you feel like you need security detail? Would that really help? I mean, because
there are times where it could help just to have like one security guard that just almost just sometimes pictures and stuff. It does get a little out of hand. I remember being on spring break and luckily having a couple big guys with me, having Jonathan Stewart and having another friend that played basketball being with me that were kind of able to regulate, because it got to a point where you couldn't even move, just trying to sit there and enjoy food on the beach, which was crazy.
Who was the other guy?
Matt Klinsman. He's a friend that he played basketball at Texas Tech and some places. He's a little older guy. But
where'd you guys go to the beach?
We were just in Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah. Okay. So Cabo San Lucas, and people know Johnny Manziel.
Well, it was a big tourist, big college spot. It was more of a college vacation spot for spring break than I had kind of expected. So it was a little out of hand.
Have you been part of this trade-off? I don't know if the word is trade-off, but you feel like your college life has just kind of been taken away at this point?
I don't know. It's different now. It definitely is different than what it used to be. I remember going out freshman year and stuff like that, and just being normal, just being like everybody else, going out to Northgate, going out to eat dinner, just going out to do normal things. And now, me and Mike go to the rec the other day to play basketball, and it was like we had 1,000 people watching a game of just playing pickup basketball at the rec. So it's just different. Continue to adjust. I mean, I know I use that word a lot, but that's just the best way to describe everything now.
You know, in terms of when you're at the next level, how much, and I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but in terms of you want to use your kind of fame and celebrity to do some good things with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've already started trying to do a bunch of good things. Like I said, that Matt, another one of my friends who went on spring break, his mom is involved with a bunch of charities, and he's done some stuff with Tony Romo just because he's played basketball with him in Dallas and some things like that. So for me, when I was talking to him on spring break, it was just like, I want to get more involved in doing stuff like that. People always get this kind of, I guess, people see me as a guy that wouldn't really be the one to do some stuff like that. So for me, just kind of picked out some things in my life that have been appealing to me, and tried to kind of get back and do a little bit more. So I've been trying to do that more and more as the weeks have gone on.
You said you went to the rec the other day. I mean, who's Mike?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Okay. And just people swarmed you.
Yeah, it was just like a crowd, like just watching and just like taking pictures like after the games and stuff. Like people waited there for like an hour and a half while we played basketball just to like have a picture after the game. It was just, it's crazy to me.
You know,
Not very good.
You know, when you described yourself as a practical joker and things like that. So, and this is just me guessing, but when like you flash the hook 'em horns and things like that, is that a way of saying this is what you could have had, or what's the stories behind those?
It's not anything like that. For me, I mean, I understand the rivalry that is between A&M and Texas, but for me, Malcolm Brown's been one of my great friends since high school. I mean, there's guys on that team that I've grown relationships with. Caleb Jones, I still talk to him on almost a weekly basis. There's just guys, all my friends from high school go there. It's for me, it's not a thing. It's not a rivalry. We got out of their conference. We're not playing them anymore. It's not a big deal. To me, it's just like if I was flashing any other school sign, I guess. And just because it is Texas, it's made out to be a big deal. So for me, it's not. I mean, if we play them in a game, if we play them in the season, of course there's going to be a rivalry. Of course there's going to be hate or whatever it is. But for me now, we don't play them. We're not associated with them. They do their own thing. We do ours, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not saying I obviously grew up a Texas fan. Everybody knows that, but for me, it's just not a big deal.
Do you find yourself wearing a hat a lot these days and glasses? I mean, is it almost kind of a
now.
Good way to be a little more incognito, I guess you'd say?
It's nice. It's nice when you can go around and just walk into places and walk out. And it's kind of got to the point where nobody, I mean, sometimes you can go into places and nobody really say anything anymore. So just try to help it out as much as possible.
Is the Heisman at your folks' place? Is that right?
It's at my grandparents' house.
Oh, okay.
In Tyler.
Okay.
It's not in a restaurant?
No.
He's going to put it right by the door.
I know.
And that's okay to say. I just want to make sure because I don't want it to cause any trouble for your grandparents.
Yeah, no, I think so.
You think it's okay? Okay, cool.
How often are you on campus other than right here?
I'm here every day on campus. Like as far as I never really like I'll have to go turn some things in for my major, stuff like that. So I mean I'm on campus occasionally, more than once a month, like I said. So it's not as much as a normal student who takes classes every day on campus, but it's still not anything out of the ordinary. What's up, Coach?
You got a smile.
Nah, there's nothing to smile about, Coach.
It's one of those things where you just can't wait for the daily routine of the season because everything is much more.
I don't know. I kept thinking I was ready for the daily routine of spring, and now I'm